Good evening. Robert Davis back with you. Tonight's subject is going to be SQLite and an administrative tool that I've found quite by accident, I'm sure. I'm just doing some research on SQLite and I ran across this website. So let's get started. Let's go there first and we'll show you what's happening there. And here's their website. And it's all about SQLite administration. And you can see they have two editions. There's a personal edition. And right here it says free for personal and commercial use. And then the professional edition has in-depth coverage of most SQLite features and free upgrades for 12 months. A site licenses are also available. You just contact them for that. The one they advertise here is $9.99, but I don't really know too many people that require a site license. The professional edition is priced at $99. And they have some incentives. If you find bug reports and you report it, and it hasn't been reported before, they have a $50 incentive off the professional edition. So, and just give you a quick look at the GUI. Here it is in action, and this is the SQL Query Builder, and it can have different styles. See right here, this is the Luna style that it's using, but you can set different styles. And they use the Dev Express components, which is really very nice. That's a great eye candy. So it makes it very nice to look at and use. Okay, so let's fire it up. We'll just head back to their homepage. You can see here's where it explains the differences between the personal and professional edition. And you can see the professional edition includes a lot more. And I think just from playing with it, the little that I have, I think the professional edition price is really reasonable for a great database administration tool like this. And they have a support form. You can use email support. Here's that promotional offer, and then the support forum. You have to email them for a registration login. That's easy enough. So let's minimize this, and let's fire up the software. I'm using the professional edition. You see I'm on a trial version. 39 days remaining. I don't know how that happened because that's supposed to be just 30. Anyway, that's great. And here we are. And what I'm going to do is open a recent database. Let me do that again. And we're going to use this SQLite test DB. And we'll use this photos table in the database. I'm making just a little photo album. And here you see the structure of the columns. Photo ID, photo itself, full name, and I believe you can... There you go, yeah. And let's add 2 fields. So we'll add phone, varchar 15, 14, 15, and we'll add email. And that'll be varchar. I'll set this to 100. Some people have very long emails, especially other countries, things like that, and schools, education emails have these .k12.us.com. whatever. Anyway, so there we've added these 2 fields, and let me see if we can do a shift and move up. Yes, and it puts the photo at the end. It's just a tidiness thing with me. But now we can look at the data. I think. No, we got to apply changes. I'm sorry. That button's way out of. So now we should be able to look at data, and there it is. We just added phone and email fields, or columns, so they're all null presently. But the photo, you see, is stored in the data table and not some link to some file on your disk, but this is actually storing the graphic in the table. Some people don't recommend that. I've not run into any problem with it so far. So anyway, we will, let's see, I'm using the latest version. I don't know where the style. Oh, native. Oh, okay. Here's the style. Let's see, caramel. Does that make any difference? Oh, it takes a few seconds for it to redraw. Could be my machine slowing down on me. Dev Express style. Let's see what that is. Yeah, there you go. Anyway, we will, so we don't get an argument about an open database. Let's just do a close all. And we'll come over here to RAD Studio. We'll open up this little application I've been playing with. Now you see here, it's just a simple layout. We have the DB Navigator, full name, and the photo field. And then we have 2 buttons for the photo field to either load it or clear it. And what we want to do now is add our phone and email fields. So let's expand this bit. We'll select all this and drag it down to make room for those 2 fields. Go to Unit Table, right click Fields Editor, right click, add fields, There we go, phone and email, that's fine. And we can do the same thing here. Well, just move the photo to the bottom, and that's consistent with our design in the administrator, the GUI. So let's take phone, shift click email, drag it out here, and there we go. And let's make this a little more reasonable width. And let's see, let's look at our, I'm going to make this tab border 0, this one 1, this one 2, this one 3. Let's select all this and tighten it up a little bit. And close this up a little bit. And let's run this and see what we got. On the code behind. You'll see the only thing I needed to do was put the code for the 2 buttons, which I'll come back to in a minute. And then on the form create, it opens the unit table 1, or activates it, which automatically activates the unit connection. And I'm using Unidac components I have for many years. I like them a lot. They're very Delphi-like. So let's run this. Here we go. Takes a second. There we go. And we'll start adding to this and I'll make that ADD at email.com. My good friend Andrea and her daughter. Database select, that's not going to take. This is something you run into if you leave the database open at design time. We want to disconnect this, and that'll disconnect all of it. And then again, the code behind does that work for us. You'll see here. Here we go. Now let's try this again. And I'll scroll off it. It takes fine. I don't know anything about those guys. This is my good friend Isabella from Okinawa. We'll give her a fake phone number and fake email. And we'll do a couple more here. Phone. That's my lovely bride. And so on and so forth. You get how it's going. As you go back through this, it has everything saved. Now, one of the things that I like to do in every table that I create is, let's close this, close all. I don't want to have errors from competing database opens. So, and then we'll open recent. Here we go. And one of the things I like to do in all my tables is create an ID field. Now, this row ID is handled entirely by SQLite. You don't have to do anything, and it automatically puts that there. However, you can specify no row ID. I don't know what you'd use a row ID for, but SQLite uses it. And then in this, I don't want to look at data. Let's look at design. The photo ID is an integer primary key field, and that will auto-increment without specifying auto-increment. That will auto-increment and give you an ID number for each record in the table. You've got to make sure that it's a type integer. There is a type int. There's int, int64, and integer. It's got to be integer and primary key selected. And you see the rest is just normal stuff. Oh, and your image has to be a blob field. So that works. And that's all there is to it. There's a lot more to it. I plan on covering this, particularly the SQL Expert Professional version, a lot more here soon. So, but it's really a tastefully done database administration tool, and I think you'll find it to be very useful, because SQLite on its own with the command line interface and things like that really requires a lot of coding, and this takes all the headache out of that for you, and allows you to work with SQLite very easily. So we'll just look right back at this and see what we got. And run it. And there we go. It's my good buddy from Germany, Tom Verchek. Anyway, so there you have it. It's that simple. I've enjoyed doing this tutorial for you, and I hope you've gotten something out of it and find it useful, particularly the administrative GUI SQLite Expert. And try that out. If you don't do anything else, make sure you get at least the free edition, so that you can easily manipulate SQLite databases, tables, records, etc. And with that, I thank you again for your time, and I will see you in the next tutorial. Thanks. Bye.